Hello, Daisy Cakes. This is Daisy X Machina, the drag queen detective who investigates all things speculative in science fiction, fantasy, and horror. And this is a Get Ready With Me where I get into drag to film a video later today. And we have Lynette. That's a new avatar. I like the little frog. And say hello if you're in the chat. And the question is, of course, how is your reading going this week? I pretty much just read or finished reading not the latest, the fourth Dungeon Crawler Carl book, which is Gate of the, I'm looking it up, of the Feral Gods. Did I get that right? Yes, Gate of the Feral Gods, book 4 of Dungeon Crawler Carl. I actually thought it was going to last me like a couple weeks or like a week and a half, but it's one of those books I can't put down. It's kind of an issue. I should be doing something else. I'm like, well, I'll just read a little bit more. That I have a couple shirts that say just one more chapter. That's definitely this book. It's highly addictive to read, in my opinion. And the interesting thing about it is it's a lit RPG. So it's sort of in the, I want to say, I shouldn't say format. It sort of has the frame of a game with levels and experience points and skills and all that stuff, stats. But it's also, there's this other level to it where these galactic aliens are forcing humans into this game for the pleasure of um, these galactic factions that don't always get along together. So sometimes you forget that there's this other story up here because you're so close to here, but then it moves up or zooms out. So it's kind of cool. Okay, Lynette finished The Store by Bentley Little, 3.5 out of 5. Horror, second book I have read by him, but I don't think I'll read any more by him. I don't think I've read anything by Bentley Little. I'm going to look his name up. Um, Interesting. I'm just looking at the covers of the books. Pretty typical, horror typical. So, okay. So today is a Pride festival in Las Vegas, where I live. Actually, it's just like a couple blocks away from me. So I'm probably going to go to the festival in drag. Friend of ours is visiting from California, and we'll probably go. Me and my husband and our friend JC will probably go. I don't know, 4 or 5 p.m. or in that doesn't mean anything to you in 4 or 5 hours. So I'm probably going to go in drag unless I really screw up this makeup. But I do also want to film the Shelve It or Shove It for December. I can't believe the year is almost over. I have November done, but I just figured I'll do December, which is the November new releases, just to get that in the can. Now reading William, which is about a agoraphobe who is stuck in a house with a disturbed robot he created. I kind of love that. Is that horror, science fiction, or a genre blend between the two? And you'll notice I don't have the face tape because I don't trust that. I think it would pop if I go out. And stick with matte colors. I'm thinking about sunset. Just doing actually, I kind of want to do a pink lid. Maybe I'll just do, maybe I'll do sunset and then a pink lid. I'll do that. Mm, yeah, I'll do that. Okay. Yeah, did I tell you there was supposed to be a parade last week, but it got rained out in Vegas? No one knows how to deal with rain. It does kind of throw me that Pride is pretty much in October in Vegas rather than in June. But like you can't have these outdoor events in June in Vegas. You would just get cooked. Might be going to a counter protest today, but it is very windy and it is Sunday bus times. Hmm. What are you protesting against? Maybe everyone is confused about you not being here next week, or else they are at the No Kings protests. Well, I should be here next week. It's the first 2 weeks in November. I'm probably going to be out. But yeah, the No Kings protest. I'm expecting, um, because these Pride festivals, they have a stage and speakers. I'm assuming there's going to be some um, nod to No Kings. Why is this looking so mustard yellow? I did hear the Trump administration or the current military, was complaining about the new Netflix show, Boot, which I have not seen, but it's about um, a gay man who joined the Marines in the 90s, and it's based on a true story, but they're complaining about it because it's woke. It's like, well, if it's based on a true story, I mean, there is an anti-immigration protest today, so I want to counter-protest that they are separating the two groups. They'll be across the street from each other. Ooh, that sounds nasty. I don't know if I've ever been in a protest like that before where there's like two groups. I'm trying to think. Because usually, I mean, I lived in San Francisco. there, there wasn't that many counter protests to like the gay pride and that type of thing. But I do remember one protest. I think Dennis and I were at where they had this huge rainbow flag that I mean it's like really big, like a block, and so you would like pick it up and shake it or whatever. And I didn't realize because Dennis and I we're there, we're holding it, and I didn't realize everyone they were going to like go out and block traffic in a street. So that was fun. Okay. I did kind of like the orange. The last time I went to one, the guy in front of me had a swastika on his bald head. I don't, I really don't get the Nazi thing. Hey, Lori, glad you joined us. Let us know what you're reading this week. Talking about protests. Lynette may be going out to one, and I'll be at a gay pride festival. So I'm sure there's going to be discussions. Okay, so I just finished The Small House at Allington by Anthony Trollope. Was a read for Victober. I haven't heard of the Victober. What's Victober? Victory, Vic, I don't know. You know, I actually, as much as I loved the Tainted Cup, I actually kind of like the sequel better, or the second book in the series. And they are written as standalones. Okay. Haven't read any Trollope. Oh, Victorian literature. Hmm. All I can think of is Dickens. Victorian literature. Hmm. You talking about literature written in the Victorian era, or about the Victorian era, or does it matter? 85 books this year, so I might reach 100. Nice. Written then. Anthony Trollope. Yeah, I haven't heard of that. Okay, I'm going to. Okay. So do sunset, and then I was going to do pink lead. I just started also reread a biography about Philip II of Spain. Interesting. My Victorian literature has mainly been Wells. Okay, Wells, Vernon. Oh, and Conan Doyle. I've read all three of those. I leave for Spain in 2 weeks. Oh, so exciting. Hope you have a good time. I bet you're going to have a wonderful time, Lori. Wow. I've never been to Spain. Okay, four. Okay, I'm going to. Hope the weather will cooperate. Okay. Going to. Never been out of Australia. When I was younger, I couldn't afford to travel. And now that I have enough money, my health isn't too good. Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that, Lynette. I guess you can vicariously live through other people's travels. There's enough stuff on YouTube. But my dirty secret is I found I don't like traveling as much as I thought I would. I mean, for me, just being at a beach and reading is fine. Okay. Lori has a few health problems. I just planning with them in mind. My older sister travels all the time with serious health conditions. I just wanted to go to Iceland, but that has become a bit of a tourist trap now. Traveling from Australia involves longer distances, especially from Tasmania. Even New Zealand is a 6 hour flight from Sydney. Wow. I didn't realize New Zealand and Sydney were so far away. Although I wouldn't mind visiting Australia. I've never been to Australia. I don't know if that's the case of the grass always looking greener, but I've traveled around Australia, but in the last few years only to Adelaide to visit my sister. Of course, a touristy thing I would be tempted to do in Australia or I think New Zealand is visit where they did Lord of the Rings because I heard they still have like the Hobbit um, sets. Okay, I'm going to attempt to do white. Vite. An 8 hour flight to Amsterdam and then 2-ish hours to Madrid. Wow. Yeah, our Dennis and I did that our one European vacation, which was a whirlwind of because we only stayed like I think 2 or 3 days per place. We went to Rome, Paris, Amsterdam, England, or England, those four cities. I really liked Amsterdam. Wow, 19 hours, almost 20 hours. Yeah. Unless you were like super rich and could afford like first class and have like a private little sleeping pod and all that jazz. Okay, let's see if I can do an ombre of pink. Oh, talking about rain or weather. We were in Amsterdam. I went to visit some friends in, say, Holland, where the windmills are. And oh, come on. And it was pouring rain. Dennis and I were drenched. And fortunately, we because we knew the people there, we could borrow some clothes. And we threw our clothes in the dryer. And okay, so you guys probably can't see this. I'm starting light pink. And then let's go to, and the dark. I don't think you can really tell the difference. Oh. Only 3.5 hours from Sydney to New Zealand. Must be 6 hours from Hobart. Yeah, 3 hours isn't bad. That's how much when I went on my writing retreat, that was the uh, flight from Calgary to Las Vegas. They have resumed direct flights from here to New Zealand. They did cancel them before the pandemic when I was thinking of going. Maybe I'll do the Hobbit adventure. I really want to do that. I actually have a friend that emigrated to Australia. I had two, actually, I have three people. It's kind of crazy. Actually, I don't know. It's not really crazy, but I'm going to so you can't really tell about this pink. I'm just going to try to use a brush. Kind of regret not using hot pink powder, but wondering if it's too late to change course. I'm going to do it. I am so frugal. I find it hard to spend money on travel. If I go to Adelaide, it's cheap because I don't have to pay for accommodation because of your sister. I'm looking at what I might read for nonfiction November. I have a book on Simon Bolivar and one on Catherine the Great. Oh, that's fun. Okay, I'm just going to do a light layer of this primer and then see what happens when I put hot pink over it. Yeah, I think I like that better. Once again, you probably can't tell the difference. Okay. I also have a book on the Portuguese colonization around the world, which I know nothing much about. I can't help you because I just can't bring myself to read nonfiction. I don't know why. Also, a book about the history of trans misogyny, but I find that might be depressing. Yeah, that's another thing. Crazy about depressing books. When's the last? I think I read a biography, and I read a trying to think of nonfiction. The guy who did the book about men staring at goats. He did another one about um, cancel culture. It wasn't really about cancel culture. It was about case studies on who uh, could get away with it and who couldn't. Okay, I need to go forward and do. Have you read any drag queen books? I have read the Trixie and Trixie and Katia, their RuPaul drag queen books on, but it was more like a comedy book. I have not read, although I've thought about reading both the biographies of RuPaul and of Willem, another drag queen who doesn't really get along with RuPaul. Um, Then I've read some nonfiction. I mean, I've read some fiction. I read one middle grade book I really hated called um, something McLean, the middle school queen, something like that. Did not like that book. But there's one by James St. James who wrote, oh, the nonfiction. Yeah, it's a nonfiction memoir called Party Monster. And James I can't speak. James St. James was one of the club kids um, during the 80s and 90s who was good friends with Michael Alig, who murdered his drug dealer or something. And then cut up the body to try to dispose of it. It's really a wild story. And this is a true story. And James St. James was, friends with this guy and had no idea what was going on. So if you want to read a nonfiction book called Party Monster, but anyway, he also did a book. I forget the title. I think I'd be Boy Queen or something. No, that's someone else. That was really funny. The only thing about it was the main character was a young man or a teenager, high schooler in, I think, present day, but the the writing was obviously from a gay man of a certain age because there was still way some of the references and jokes and stuff was very old school. Let's just say that. Two nonfiction books I recommend to people who don't like nonfiction are Fireweather and The Wager. I love The Wager. I have to look that up. Secret Life or Lives of Lobsters. It's a great book. It doesn't sound interesting. They might be making a movie about The Wager. At least it's been optioned. Lex is here. Thank you for joining us and share your book recommendations. I have read The Secret Lives of Lobsters. I liked it, but thought it looked at the fishermen too much compared to the lobsters. This does not sound interesting to me. Sorry. uh, I don't like hearing about lobsters being eaten. I have stopped eating crayfish as a result of reading the book. Really? I eat, yeah, I eat both lobsters and crabs and crustaceans. Actually, we went out to dinner last night with a friend who's uh, JC, who's going to the Pride Festival, and I almost had ordered lobster tail, except the problem is they're so expensive. But I did. I had a fish. think I could be a pescatarian. I personally don't eat red meat, and I haven't for like 30 years. But I do eat seafood and chicken. Or I should say poultry. I used to say I don't eat mammals. Okay. All right. I still eat scallops and prawns. I love scallops too. I love both of those. I eat about 500 grams of red meat a fortnight. I eat chicken and fish more. I will eat kangaroo once in a while. Never had kangaroo. I've had alligator. I guess I'll eat reptiles. And rattlesnake. Okay. For a tiny fluffy brush, which really that. Kangaroo is rich and lean. Oh, and of course I've had ostrich. I say of course as though that's what everyone does. Okay, let me brush this bake off. The thing about crayfish for me is it just so much work for so little food. I'm saying that for having grown up in Maryland, that's known for their teeny tiny crabs, or the crabs that are this big, and you would order them like a dozen at a time. Okay. Do Wondering if I should do blue underneath for a rainbow look. Well, let's try it. What's the worst that can happen? I put the new TJ Klune book that's coming out next year on my TBR list. I don't know what it is. I still haven't read the sequel to the House in the Cerulean Sea. Break the legs on the crayfish. Do you eat the shells? Having second thoughts, I think I'm going to go and just mirror the sunset. And yellow. Okay, I think the eyes are done. The inside the legs. There's not much. Well, good for you guys. Although, like I said to Marilyn, we have the small blue crab. TJ Clued book is about an old gay couple who are facing the end of the world. A wandering black hole is approaching, so they go on a last road trip. I love that. Actually, I may read that one too. Remind me when you read it. We burn so bright. Sounds a little bittersweet. I am kind of curious also because TJ Klune is not that old, but we'll see where he goes with that. I can't blow my nose with all this makeup. Okay. We happy with this? Okay. Don't want to overthink. Do want Okay. I'll be here forever if I continue to. Actually, orange blush. Okay. Okay. Oh, DK Moon is here. Yay! Watching other vids that I missed yesterday. Thank you for joining us. For even popping in is great. Look forward to the movie Project Hail Mary being released in March. I might even see it at the cinema. And I've only been to the cinema once since 2019. Cool. I still haven't read it. Okay, guys, I'm going to do lips and move forward. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard, speaking of movies, that Terrence Stamp, before he passed away, he filmed a scene for the sequel to Priscilla. Oh, I went too high. Fuck. Oop. Sorry, excuse my French. I'm trying to be careful because I'm going to the. Pride Festival today. Personally, I think Priscilla is the best drag queen movie I've ever seen. Although I have a soft spot for Casio Fall or the Birdcage. I still haven't seen Mickey 7. I love the book so much, and I know they have changed a lot. Or 17. I saw it. I haven't read the books, but I enjoyed the movie. It was a little bit quirky. Finished DCC's latest book this week. The Inevitable Ruin was really good. Yeah, DK, I just finished the fourth book, Gate of the Feral Gods. And once again, it was one of those books where I had a hard time putting it down. Just something about it, the pacing, yeah, maybe it's the format of a game that I just have to keep saying, well, what's the next box that he opens or whatever, or the next spell book. But I still want to pace myself. I don't want to read them all back to back and just get burnt out like I did with Malazan. Um, and I like having a series that I know will break me out of a reading slump. So I'm, taking my time. Saw some scenes of him doing a sequel. Yeah, Lex, we're talking about Terrence Stamp. The wind has blown my recycling bin over. Oh no, plastic bottles all over your backyard. Oh, that sucks. I am back. Had to run downstairs for a grocery delivery. Welcome back, Lori. I reckon my son might enjoy DCC. He loves RPG games. Lori, I still think you should give it a go. Give, you know, one, the first book a chance. Because I think just because it's so well written and it's satirical and has a sense of humor that's not over the top. Even though they're based on, even though they're lit RPG, I don't know for sure, but I think they should be accessible to anyone. I did ask in my lit RPG video where I talked about Dungeon Crawler Carl to comment if anyone has read the books but aren't gamers, but I don't think uh, anyone did, so I don't know. Okay, so worried these lips are too big. I don't think they are. My comfort read is a mystery series set in Regency era about a Bow Street runner. I don't know what a Bow Street runner is. DCC has lots of innuendo, and I'm guessing your son is no longer a kid. 43. Perfect. Yeah. Why? Okay. Oh, and if you didn't hear, I am filming. I am filming Shelve It or Shove It for December today. I just can't believe how fast this year has gone. But I'm also thinking of going to the Pride Festival in Vegas today in drag. So I'm trying to do makeup that will actually these are fine. That will last the whole day. So no face tape, no glitter. The problem with glitter is it gets really crusty after a while. Oh, although I can. This stuff is cool to use. Although you can't really see it on camera. It's this. Yeah, I wish it picked up. I'll do it on my lids too. Glitter everywhere. Okay. The Bow Street Runners were the force that existed before the police force. They answered to the magistrates and mainly lived on rewards they got for arresting people. Kind of like bounty hunters, it sounds like. So my ancestors were arrested by them. But this was before the like detectives and whatnot. So that's kind of interesting. I assume it was pre Sherlock Holmes. Okay. I guess my comfort read is middle grade books. which I try to keep reading because I write middle grade. One of my ancestors was arrested because he took part in the riot at Queen Caroline's funeral. Interesting. After he was arrested by the military, the runners visited him. They had already been looking for him over a theft of shirts. Wow. Oh, shoot. Theft of shirt. Sounds very Jean Val, whatever the miserable character is. Assuming he wanted shirts for himself and didn't do like a truckload to resell. Queen Caroline was loved by the people, but her husband was hated. Gotta go. Gotta check out the trash. Okay, thank you for joining us, Lex. I think I'm almost done here. Amazingly. We're fine. Really don't want to read Mistborn Era 2, but it ties into the continuation of Stormlight. I think I'm done with Sando at this point. I'm kind of curious about it myself, but the thing is, I was not a big fan of the um, steampunk he did in the Mistborn world. But I am kind of curious about what he's doing about jumping to the future. His sci-fi, delving into sci-fi. Oh shoot, this is broken. Look at that. This necklace has a missing. Let me grab. just because it's easy. Okay. But I'm not done with Sanderson yet. He's not. He's a little too prolific, though. I thought his 4 books in 1 year was a little bit. I got my Greek goddess wig. Was mixed bag. I am glad I read the Stormlight. Oops. What did I just do? What did I do? I gotta wear this to Pride today, this wig. I think of a short wig, but this wig is so fun. Let me zoom out a little bit. Really don't want to read Mistborn Era 2, but it ties. Oh, read that. Yeah, the steampunk gun starts in Era 2, and I don't really want that in my fantasy. Thumbs up for the stream. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Lynette. I'm just going to throw on some gloves. But I'm not done with Sanderson myself. I still consider the Mistborn, his first trilogy, to be my favorite. And the Way of Kings or the Stormlight Archives were just a bit long, you know. But I appreciate that I read them as they were published, so I didn't. I don't know if I could just do a series like that all at once. Like I said, I tried that with Malazan, and even though I really loved the first several Malazan books, it just burnt me out, like around book 6. But I was reading them back to back, so maybe that's not what you should do. Okay, anyway, so guys, I'm filming a video later today, Shove It or Shove It for December. I should be back next week. I will not be here the first 2 weeks of November, so after next week, and I'll give a reminder. I wasn't liking the pink in the eyes, but it looks much better when it's all together. Yeah, a lot of these looks, these drag queens looks, you don't really see it until the wig comes on, or at least the lashes come on. Lady Godiva. I will be wearing clothes, but thank you. I had to take breaks with Malazan. Tough read, yeah. I've thought several times I should go back because I got so far into it, but then it's like, it's been a while. I've forgotten a lot of stuff that I probably shouldn't have. First 2 weeks of November. Okay. Oh, because you're going to be in Spain. Okay, guys, thank you again for coming. I hope to see you next week. And as usual, may all the books you read be